And welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mystic Raven. Alright guys, so I have a new Magplar build for Summerset. This is a PvP build. It's really nice. I'm talking wow. And the player who gave me the inspiration for this build is a sorcerer on the PS4, Purple Slushy. So if you guys don't know who Purple Slushy is, I would recommend you guys look him up, especially if you're a sorcerer. Really good PvPer and player all around. All right, so, and I'll explain why he gave me the inspiration for this build. This is a Destro Resto build. It is a 6-1 config, 6 light, 1 heavy. All right, so let's get into it. On this side, you're going to see Max Magic at 42,376. This is the Destro side. Magic Recovery, 2,095. Maximum Health in Cyrodiil, 2,956. In BGs, you will be at like 19, close to 19,000. It drops like 1,000, but that's okay. It's pretty good. Spell damage 2109 without any buffs. Spell crit 41.9. We don't need a lot of crit with this build. It helps, but we don't really need a lot of spell crit, so don't worry about it. Spell resistance. I am a Breton. If you want to go high elf, you can do that. So either high elf or Breton is what I would recommend, because since I am a Breton, my spell resistance is higher. So you'll see it at 17,679. Physical resistance 13,662. Without any buffs. To the left, you're going to go ahead and see magic is allocated at 60. Health at 4. We are using Witch Mother's Potent Brew, and we're going to be using the Atronaut Mundus. All right, so Resto side, a little bit of changes here. You're going to see Max Magicka drop down to 40,589. Magic Recovery remains the same, so does Max Health. Spell damage goes down. This build is not finished. I will explain that. And resistances remain the same. All right, so let's get into the sets. We're going to be using spinners. Really good set, especially for Magplars. Really nice, especially in PvP. Why? That extra penetration comes in handy. It really does. Now, also we're going to be using... Oh yeah. We're going to be using Necropotents. Now, a lot of you guys are going to think to yourselves, are you crazy? Are you nuts? The Templar doesn't have a pet. Well, this is where Purple gave me the idea, because I'm going to use Shadow Ren. And when it summons, it acts like a pet. And yes, it gives me the 5th bonus for Necropotents. Really sick. So let's get down piece by piece and get into the sets here. Okay, Spinner's Inferno Staff. You want the Inferno Staff? I'm going to use Oblivion damage. Very important that I'm going to use Oblivion damage with this set. Plus, it's going to be Nirnhone. So you want Nirnhone, Oblivion damage, right? Very important. We're also going to use a Spinner's Restoration Staff. Now, I do need to upgrade this, and I need to transmute it. It's sharpened currently, but it should be Nirnhone, because I already have penetration. You want it with the increase. So you want the increase enchantment on this. You want the Nirnhone on this, because this is your primary damage. You're going to proc on the Resto staff. Okay, very important. We're going to use 1 heavy Shadow Ren. Remember, 6 light, 1 heavy. Why? Because we're getting that Undaunted boost of 4%, and then we're going to get the light armor passive of extra recovery, just a little bit. So when we take a look at recovery, we're getting an extra 24% for 6 pieces. Kind of really nice there. All right. So infuse Shadow Ren, Max Magicka, ideal. Shadow Ren, you're going to get this in Banished Cells Uno, right? And Vet. It gives us magic recovery, and when we take damage, we have a 15% chance to summon a Shadow Clannfear for 15 seconds. Now, the Shadow Clannfear's basic attacks are doing 4,448, and then on top of it, it applies Minor Maim to the target, reducing their damage by 15%. Now, here's the kicker. It can occur every 15 seconds, and it lasts 15 seconds. Really nice. Procs in that nice Necropotence. Love it. Okay, Necropotence, Robe of Necropotence, infused, Max Magicka, ideal. Shadow Wren's Epilots, Max Magicka, divine. I want one piece of divine. I want to maintain one piece of divine. But I do need one more impen piece. So I'm going to get into that. Okay, we're going to use Spinner Sash, impen, Max Magicka, ideal. Gloves of Necropotence, impen, Max Magicka, ideal. Breachers of Necropotence, infused, Max Magicka, ideal. Then Shoes of Necropotence. This should be impen, clift, max health. All right. So also we're going to have Necklace of Necropotence, 1 recovery. And it's very important to keep them all arcane. Why? You want to maximize that Max Magicka. Very important. Spinner's Ring, increase. And another Spinner's Ring, increase. That's why we're using the Astronaut Mundus. Why? Because we're putting the 2 spell damage on here. We're going to use Nirnholm, and that's going to scale max spell damage. All right? So the more spell damage we have, the more it's going to scale. And we can get close to 3,000. It'll be slightly under, but almost 3,000 with everything procced. So really, really nice. Okay, so let's get into the skills, shall we? Okay, Destro, Inferno Staff, Purifying Light. Okay, one of the best things about the Templar is Power of Light, right? But we already have penetration, so we're going to use Purifying Light. Why? Because it scales max Magicka, right? It's scaling Magicka damage instead of stamina damage. So basically, we're going to go ahead and proc this. Think of a Haunting Curse on a sorcerer, right? So it's same principle. We're going to apply it. It's going to deal 4,730 magic damage to them, and copying all the damage they take for 6 seconds. And then after that, it releases it. Boom. Okay. So all of a sudden, it can copy up to 25,425 max damage. Now, what's really nice about this skill, it also drops a heal at the corpse, or at the end on the enemy. So it's really nice. It just drops a nice heal, healing 3,236 every 2 seconds. Really, really nice. Okay, Force Pulse. This is our spammable, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use Force Pulse. What's really nice is if an enemy has been inflicted with a Burning Shield or Concuss status effect, it's going to deal 3,351 additional damage up to 2 nearby enemies. So it's free damage is what it is. We don't need a lot of interrupts. Unfortunately, in PvP, there's not a lot of interrupts. You don't need Crushing Shock. You want to take this. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, Templars don't have any CCs. This build doesn't have, Toppling Charge or anything. You're going to use Aurora Javelin. Okay, so there's a combo to this. So check this out. Aurora Javelin, really, really nice. It offers a stun effect, right? Basically, boom, we go ahead, we throw it, it stuns them. Now, when we go ahead, we throw the Purifying Light, we stun them, and then, oops, Shattered Soul, right? So even if when they recover, Purifying Light's going to copy the damage of the Shattered Soul. It's a killer combo. It is a badass combo. People are going to be like, it's so like toxic. Shattered Soul is so toxic. I don't care. I'm using it. 96 ultimate, almost 50,000 magic damage over 2.5 seconds. You want the shattering, and why? Because when they die to this, their soul's going to explode, dealing 14,734 magic damage to nearby enemies. It's like a mini bomb inside a friggin' effect. It's really nice. I love this. We're also going to be using Harness Magicka. Now notice I'm not using Radiant Destruction or anything. This build's so fast, it's actually going to slow you down if you use the beam. I would suggest the Harness Magicka every day. Why? It's our shield system. We're going to double stack shields. That's what sorcerers do. That's what Nightblades do. And until they fix the shield stack, screw it. We're going to do it too. So Harness Magicka all the way. Really. And what's really nice is it's going to be able to, if you're getting hit with spells, it's a way to recoup the Magicka, right? Inner Light, very important on this. Why? Because we're getting our Major Prophecy. A little bit of crit's good, but we're getting an extra 5% towards our Max Magicka. Okay, Resto Staff. Oh, I forgot to switch that. I'll go ahead and do that right now. Okay. All right. Let me get that. Okay, Resto. Healing Ward is one of our primary forms of mitigation and heal. So we're going to always, use this if we're solo. If it's on this, we're going to bank. If we're within a group, we're going to bank on Harness Magicka. But gets us out of that tight jam. Really powerful. Degen. We don't have Breath of Life. We do not need Breath of Life with this. So you're going to use Degen. Why? It's going to do 3 things. 1, it's going to give us our major sorcery, right? Very important. It's also going to give us a heal. So it's going to heal us for a 1,911 health, an additional 1,911 health every 6 seconds. But when it's activated, we have a 15% chance to heal for 135% of the damage cost of our light and heavy attacks. Also, when we take a look at Might of the Guild, which is going to activate that passive, we're increasing our light and heavy attack damage, or light attack damage, by 40% for 5 seconds. So the more damage we're going to deal with light attacks, the more it's going to heal. So we want to go ahead and use that. So keep that in mind. Major sorcery, purifying light. When we proc this, that's going to give her our minor sorcery. All right. So when we look under Dawn's Wrath and we go into Illuminate, casting a Dawn's Wrath ability grants minor sorcery. That's increasing by 5%. So we get 20 and a 5. Major and minor both in this build. Okay, we're going to use Ritual of Retribution. Remember, we don't have Breath of Life. We don't need it with this build. Trust you and me, you don't need it. You're going to use Ritual of Retribution. Why? A cleanse, a heal, and a damage for those little stinking night blades who want to go ahead and jump you. It keeps them from cloaking so long as they're on top of you. It's going to deal damage. When it's dealing damage, it's popping them out of stealth. All right, it's a ground AoE effect. The more they're going to stay in it, the more they're not going to be able to cloak. But Nightblades can be a pain. They can kill you. That's why you want the Channel Focus. Channel Focus is very important for this build. Why? Because while we're standing in it, it's going to give us our Major Ward and our Major Resolve, right? And what's really nice, we're also recovering 120 Magicka every 0.5 seconds. Really, really nice. So when I go ahead and use this ability, and I go into my character sheet, we're sitting at 22,957 spell resistance. Sick. Physical resistance 19. Really, really nice. So you want to make sure this is down, and then keep this down for the Night Blades and your other heal. Between this, the degen, and everything, you have plenty of healing going on. Trust you and me. Elusive Mist. Now, when things get hairy, you want to cut out and just get out of there as fast as possible. Elusive Mist is going to give you what? Your major expedition, and it's also going to reduce damage. Very simple. Just cut and run. Now, if things do get a little hairy, this is your secondary ulti. So if you don't get a Shattering Soul out of this, you want to use Life Giver. Life Giver is really, really important because it's going to be another heal. And once again, we're not using Breath of Life. We don't want Remembrance channel. We want to still deal damage and heal. So it's going to play a hot, and when we activate the ability, we're going to automatically cast Regeneration, Blessing of Protection, and Steadfast Word automatically. So, boom. There it is. There's another heal right for you. Really, really good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do a really trick here. I'm going to go ahead and go attack a mob real quick and show you what the max Magicka is. Once we get this procced up, and I'll go to the target dummy and show you the spell damage really quick. And I'll go over the champion points. Really, really nice. Love this build. I'm like, oh my, oh my. It's actually pretty scary. I was in Battlegrounds testing this. It was doing some really cool stuff. We actually had this talk with the Xbox players yesterday, and I'm like, I could put Necropotence on a Templar. And I knew Purple Slushy had done this on the Sork. And I'm like, that's brilliant. I'm going to do that combo, but instead of doing the other side that he did, I want the penetration. So I'm like, I want that penetration. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and hit something really quick just to get a little bit of an aggro and get a hit here. Get the Shadow Clan Fear out. Okay. Now, once this is out and we look, 46,000 max Magicka. 46,000. Really nice. That is really nice. It can't... Now, if you're a high elf, it will get higher. You'll be close to 50. So you'll be close to 50,000 if you're a high elf. But I like Breton because of all the resistance. I really do like Breton Templars. So, really nice. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you the max spell damage that we're going to do. That we're going to proc with our major and minor. Then we'll go over CP. $46,000 on a Templar. And I get about 50k Shattered Souls. Oh, it's so awesome. I was getting jumped everywhere yesterday with this build. And the Shadow Clan Fear is really nice because it does do that debuff. Alright. So, we want to make sure we're on resto. And we're going to, when we hit this, we want to do a light attack. And then go in. And we're almost at 3,000 spell damage. Really nice. Let's go over the CP system, shall we? Okay. Starting off into the Apprentice. We're going to take Blessed up to 8.12. Remember, we do have HOTS going down. Very important. So Blessed 8.12. Really nice too because we are offering a cleanse to our party. Elemental Expert 1301. Spell Erosion. We do have Concentration passive. We are using Spinners, but we want a little bit extra into Spell Erosion. So 13 points into Spell Erosion. We're going to take Staff Expert at 9.17. Master Arms 21.18. Keep in mind we're dealing dot damage, right? So Thaumaturge 22.08. Coming into the Warrior, Ironclad 17.17. We'll reduce that physical damage. I am a vampire, but keep in mind I'm Breton. I'm, got a lot of spell resistance, but we want to put a little bit into Elemental Defender at 909. We want Hardy at 1208. We want Light Armor Focus at 53. Thick Skin 611. We want Bastion at 1208 because we're shield stacking, and we want Quick Recovery at 5.22. Coming into the tower, we have Warlord at 10.22. I had a few points left, so I put in a Sprinter at 209. Siphoner, very important for Siphoner for PvP, especially if you're in Cyrodiil. When we hit a player with a light or heavy attack, we're reducing the recovery with their magic, stamina, and health by 1208. It basically is nullifying a lot of recovery passives that's being applied by Racial. So high elves aren't as strong, red guards aren't as strong with their recovery when you hit them with the light attack because of the Siphoner passive. Okay, Despotic went over that too. So if you guys don't know who Despotic is, I would recommend you guys go check him out as well. Tenacity 1208, Arcanus 14%, Healthy 909. Coming into the Shadow, nothing, and that is how the champion points are allocated. All right, guys, here it is, Specter. Who would have thought? Necromancy has seeped its way into the hearts of the Templar. I'm Mr. Graven. This is ESO Daily. Thank you guys for watching. And once again and always, have a nice day.